This is the easiest way to make a skirt because you don't need a pattern. This is the easiest way to make a skirt because you don't need a pattern, you don't need dress form or like nothing, you know, that's more complicated. You basically just need a piece of fabric and a sewing machine and the materials I'm gonna show you. So this one, I made it today. It's just like an idea. So you see what we're gonna do. This is dark, you don't see much, but, and I put pockets. The one we're gonna make tonight, I'm not gonna add pockets to keep it very simple, but this one I did. So, because I thought like the fabric is like boring, so I don't, you know, it's plaid and it's okay, but I thought it needed something else, so I added the pockets. But the one we're gonna make tonight, I think because it's so simple, the cut is so like, not much, I chose fabric that's fun. So that's the idea I work with, like, if it's if the cut is very simple and there's not much details or anything, I'll have like a fun pattern and print. So this is the one we're gonna do tonight. It's it's like a kind of an Asian print, very colorful. It's actually just like a piece of fabric left over that I had that I thought could become a skirt. Okay. So what else you need to make a skirt like that? You need the thread, that should be the collar. Mine is here, already threaded the machine, but you know, you can, in this one I could use the same, I usually choose the one that is the what do you call, the background of the print. That should be the color of the thread, or you can play with it, it can be another one, you know, this one I could use red or yellow or white. Usually I use white because it's easy and I have like big ones like this one. But tonight, to be good, I'll use the red color. Okay. What else? You're gonna need a piece of elastic, which I just saw that I ran out of like the regular elastic I have. I just have this one that has like a print that I collected. This is kind of old, but I'm gonna use this one. And the size is like basically your waist, right? And usually I cut like 1 extra inch to be like, depends on like how stretchy it is. If it's a very stretchy elastic, it doesn't need to be much bigger than your waist. But if it's not, then you wanna give a little, okay? Like 1 inch or 2. One thing I use a lot for this is like the zigzag scissors, how you call this? You know, the finishing inside, usually I'll do zigzag seam, like stitching, or I'll cut with the scissors first, because it happens to not unravel the fabric so much. It really depends on the fabric. If it's very like, you know, silk that's very thin, you don't want to do that, but this one is not, it wouldn't unravel, so I could use for that. But I already cut it, so it's ready. But I'm just saying, if you have one of those, it's good. Then you need chalk to mark if you want to add something, you know, usually it's stuff that is good to have. There's this kind of chalk, that's the basic tailor's chalk, but I use this one. I like is a pen that you can replace and you can change the colors. It's very useful. And then sewing pins, right? That some people like to use those clips, but I'm just old school. I use the pins because it's just the way I learned and it's easy. And then I have my regular scissors, and then the one tool that I don't like but it's useful is the seam ripper, right? This one, that if you do any mistake, you're gonna use that one. So first thing, let's I cut it already, so if you have a fabric, your piece of fabric there, let me save my stuff here. You can, let me put this one. So the width of the fabric, right? This, it's up to you really. If you want to do like a volume, depends on the volume you want to have on your skirt. That one that I just showed you that I made today, I wanted to have a lot of volume, so I had like a big, I used the whole width of the fabric and I took two heights. But this one, I only when I use, I don't want to like too voluminous, so I'm just using a little bit. So it's gonna be, you know, thinner and less volume. So then what I did is like I cut it, I took the whole width of the fabric, this is the edge, and I just cut in 2 parts. Okay, and now, and that's where you do the zigzag cut, or I can do a zigzag stitch afterwards to save to not unravel. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is to put them together. So I'll do right sides together and just sew on the edges. Tell me where you're watching from. Say hello. So I'm just gonna, I kept the stitch on straight stitch, and I'm gonna sew the sides. Okay. Now the other side. Just do a straight stitch, it's really easy. See, I rather always work with the big one because it has more weight. Unless this machine is not the machine I usually use. I have the other one, and my plastic one. Usually, like that one actually has a thing that holds the bobbin, the thread thing here, but this one doesn't. And if I put it here, it jumps. So I rather use this thing with the thread there, but it should be a big one. This one is it's not ideal. But anyway, so flip it the right side, the right side out, and then there's the seam here, right? So we have 2 seams on the side, and you're gonna iron it. Now press the stitch, press the seam, right? And I'll do from the inside. Here, let me put it here so you can see better. See how I'm like pressing, opening the seams. And you see the difference. Look how the side that I didn't press, I don't know if you're able to see it, but it looks a little, you know, not well finished. But then the side that I pressed, it just looks smooth. You know, it looks like a nice work, a nice job. So it's always good to press. So now, what you do is you have to, so the easiest way, the way I do, I would just fold this twice to make it's like the space where you pass the elastic, right? But to make it even easier for you, I'm not gonna fold it twice, I'm just gonna fold once. And that's why first I'm gonna pass zigzag, you know, so just stitch and zigzag all the way in the edge of the top part of the skirt, okay, that top edge, where the waist part. So let me put zigzag. Now my edge is good, so it won't unravel. This fabric has a little stretch, that's good. Now the elastic. because to do the waistband, we need the elastic ready. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna sew it together, the two edges of the two tips of the elastic. You do like a square, you know, do a lot of reverse, so you make it very safe. So, and that's it. Okay, so now we have the elastic, and what we're gonna do is, a easy way is, because the idea is that we're gonna fold the thing that's gonna be the waistband, make like a hem here, a couple inches, and sew around, but the elastic has to be inside. So, you know, I'm gonna have this like open loop here, but then if I don't, you know, there's another way that you can just, you do the loop first and then you pass the elastic through it with like a thing that you pull. But this is like the easier way. I promise that was the easiest. So that's, so I put the elastic there, inside, see? And then I'm gonna sew over the zigzag. I pin it here, so to hold it down. And I'm gonna do a straight stitch this time. And it's up to you how wide you want, right? Even this elastic I have is not wide enough. I feel like if it's like 2 inches or like an inch, at least it's better. But, and then you can do the width of the waistband a little bigger than the elastic, okay? See how I'm like pulling it towards the back? And almost finished. That's it. Now the elastic's in there, and it's probably like a little twisted because it's loose inside of the loop. And but see, that's basically what it is. What I do now is like I iron it. I press this over, you know, this so it makes like a little more flat. It's not like so chubby like this or like scrunchy. And then the last thing is just to hem the skirt. A good idea is to mark the hem already, right? Since we're with the iron, and this is good. So sometimes you have to retrim, you know, the way that that you sew. Sometimes one piece of fabric will seam, even though you cut the same side, the same sizes. Sometimes when you sew, one is gonna be longer, and then you have to trim it. But in this case, they're equal, so there's no problem. So what I'm gonna do is just trim the threads. And then I'm gonna mark where I want the hem. So mark the fold of the hem. And then it's up to you how much you want, really, right? So do like an inch. Okay, that's it. First, let's like hold the elastic in place. And I just really like choose like some random spots. I'll do over the side stitch a little bit. Now, so I did one side, I'm gonna make sure the seams are really on the side, okay. Here it is, then the other one. Now for the hem, I can do a zigzag, so it'll sew the hem and at the same time save the edge of the fabric, the raw edge. right? So there it is. I've ironed it already. Let me set it to zigzag. And that's it. And that for this one I'm gonna have a little, because I've been using like the largest zigzag. For this one I'm gonna have a little small one. And all this you can train, like, you know, sew like in pieces of fabric, like random, just rags, so you can see the size of the, you know, the stitch and stuff. And if you're more advanced, you could just like fold a little bit here and keep, so the finishing is nicer. Or you can put a piece of ribbon or something. That's it, guys. Here's our skirt. Let me know what you want to know how to do. I can make backpacks, dresses, tops, or, you know, print shirts and stuff. Let me know. Okay, thank you for watching.